Welcome to That's Good Sports. I'm Brandon. I think the Broncos want to make the elite Joe Flacco happy with their draft picks, Perna. The Denver Broncos selected Iowa tight end Noah Fant at 20 after trading pick number 10 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Noah Fant was graded as the second best tight end in the draft, second to his teammate TJ Hockenson. The upside is he's considered the most athletic tight end in this year's draft. I know after the Broncos traded back from 10, our bodies collectively went numb. One reason you should be tingling as your nerves regenerate is right as the Broncos made the pick for Noah Fant, Ian Rappaport called Philip Rivers Phyllis Rivers.
Like the Los Angeles Chargers who did a bunch of quarterback work, they have Phyllis Rivers obviously.
If that isn't a sign from God that Fant was destined to be a Denver Bronco, I don't know what is. Let's break down the pros and cons of the Noah Fant draft pick. Let's get sports. Please, if you're new to this YouTube channel, subscribe. You gotta subscribe on YouTube and click the notification button. Also, this episode is sponsored by Manscaped. You already know about some Manscaped products like the Lawnmower 2.0 for body hair trimming with skin-safe technology so you don't nick your nuts or nipples. Speaking of which, better, just the way my wife likes it. But Manscaped.com is about providing total body maintenance, keeping your skin and man hair cleansed and trimmed from head to toe. Literally. Now with the Foot Duster Foot Spray. This is my right foot. I call him Righteous, and I spray him once a day. This is my left foot. I call him Daniel Day-Lewis, and I spray him once a day. Not only does the Foot Duster keep your feet from smelling like disgusting feet, but it reduces bacterial microorganisms on the skin, features pH control, and is composed of all natural ingredients like tea tree oil, which helps repair dry skin. Plus, pro skater Windsor James endorsed it, so I'm assuming it makes you good at skateboarding too. Oh, yes it does. Use my link in the description or my promo code SPORT20 for your 20% discount at manscaped.com. Let me use a parabola, a parable analogy to describe how I felt about this pick for the Broncos. I once knew a Noah in high school. I didn't really like or dislike Noah, but then I found out Noah was a black belt in fucking karate, which made me respect the hell out of Noah. I was forced to respect his athletic skills and ability to kick my ass at any time. That's how I feel about Noah Fant. I don't know a ton about him, but he's now the fastest tight end in the AFC West and can high point a football like a GD American Eagle inside an airplane that's going into outer space. And guess who throws up jump balls with the best of them? Elite Joe Flacco. That's who. And I didn't want the Broncos to take a quarterback in the first round, and they didn't, so that worked. Noah Fant played his best football as a mismatch for defenders in the red zone. One area Denver was terrible last season was passing in the red zone. New quarterback and new tight end just might fix that problem. If I can quote some draft expert, Fant is as athletic as you will ever see at tight end. I know what you are wondering at this point. What does Chris Harris Jr. think about Noah Fant? Well, he said on Twitter, Noah Fant looked nice. Flacco likes his tight ends. #NFL draft. In terms of the last 24 hours, though, that is the least interesting thing Chris Harris has tweeted. But I agree, Noah Fant looked nice. He also looked not injured like Jake Butt, Troy Fumagalli, and Jeff Heuerman coming out of college. Also, Chris Harris was not traded today, another good sign. The positive news for GM John Elway is after drafting Paxton Lynch in 2016, he can never do worse in the first round of the draft. No matter how you feel about what the Broncos did in round one, that is still true. Noah Fant will be better than Paxton Lynch. I guarantee that. The Broncos had the 10th pick, but traded that with the Steelers for the 52nd pick this year, swapping their first rounders and getting a third rounder in 2020. I have no idea why the Broncos didn't take Devin Bush at 10. He seemed like a perfect fit for Vic Fangio's defense. You know Vic Fangio, the defensive genius, the guy who has coached like 100 Hall of Fame linebackers? That guy. That said, this is the NFL draft. Nothing is certain. Bush may end up being better than Noah Fant, or Fant may end up being the best tight end in the AFC West next year. He really does have that big of an upside. Noah Fant became the most popular tight end at the NFL Combine after an insanely athletic performance. He recorded a 4.5 40 time, forcing many draft scouts to immediately leave the Combine in search of a fresh pair of underwear. That's really why they call it the Underwear Olympics. Iowa sports writers are high on Fant. No surprise there, though, I guess. Chad Lystico said, "Noah Fant was a special talent at Iowa. He'll be a mismatch nightmare and a beast in the red zone for the Broncos, who are getting a tight end with unlimited potential." Did you hear that last part? Unlimited potential. He could be president of the United States if he puts his mind to it. Hell, he might end up with 60 or 70 Jimmy John's franchise stores like Drew Brees. The best way to evaluate a draft pick, though, is with a quick pros and cons list. Noah Fant, pro, has a 39.5-inch vertical, but recorded a 42-inch jump a year ago. That's ridiculously high. Con, if he doesn't play well in Denver, it will be too easy to call him Noah Can't, or Noah Phantom when he disappears in a game. Pro, had 19 touchdowns in 3 seasons with Iowa, which is more than any other Hawkeye in the team's history. Con, wasn't even the best tight end on his team. Pro, is the second best tight end in the draft. Con, a tight end success in the NFL is kind of hard to predict. Pro, if Jeff Heuerman, Jake Butt, and Troy Fumagalli turn out to be good, Denver should have 2 legit tight end threat. Well, if they're all good, that's a ton. But to scheme with Sanders, Sutton, and hopefully Hamilton. Con, could easily replace Demaryius Thomas for poorly timed drop passes.
We've seen him drop way too many passes in college.
Pro, offensive coordinator Rich Scangarello did a hell of a job with George Kittle in San Francisco. Pro, George Kittle went to Iowa just like Noah Fant. Con, Noah Fant's probably not George Kittle. Now, this was the first time in NFL history a pair of tight ends were taken in the first round from the same school. Wait, what? Oh shit, I think the Steelers ripped off John Elway. Yes, I would have loved to see Devin Bush in a Broncos uniform lighting up Travis Kelce every year. But the Steelers apparently tricked Elway with tricky wording into accepting a 2010 third-round draft pick as part of the deal. Elway thought he was getting a 2020 pick. Looks like it's a 2010 third-round pick. What is Elway going to do? Go back in time and let Josh McDaniels draft Eric Decker again in the 3rd round and then sneak Eric Decker back into the year 2018? 2019, we are in the year 2019. In terms of how I feel emotionally about this pick, pretty confused, but in an optimistic way. They didn't take Drew Lock at 20. I feel much better about Fant in my gut than I did when they picked Garrett Bowles, so that's positive. Again, the draft is impossible to evaluate right now. I'll recap the Broncos' full draft once it concludes, so please come back for that. If I had to grade this pick, I give it a Fanta for Noah Fant, the perfect orange drink. Fanta. That's their fucking draft grade. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, at Brandon Perna. I was tweeting a lot during that draft, so if that's your sort of thing you're into, check me out there. And not that I have to say it, but let me know in the comments what you think of the pick for the Broncos.